If someone was looking for a free-flowing, lethal, counter-attacking football team to watch, then Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool, when they're at their best and not dropping points to the bottom half of the table, could be a team that you'd recommend. And perhaps the player that best epitomizes that style of play would be Sadio Mané, an explosive, robust player on the pitch whose off-field demeanor completely contrasts this. So how did a young, shy boy from the Banbali village in Senegal end up dominating opponents on the Anfield pitch? Hey, I'm Adrian from Rabona TV, just here to quickly tell you that if you like player and manager bios, plus stats-based weekend reviews from the Big 5 leagues around Europe, as well as a little bit of FIFA 18 content, then you might want to consider hitting that subscribe button. But beyond that, let's get back to Sadio Mané. Sadio Mané was born in Bambali, Senegal, a tiny village close to Sadio, on April 10, 1992. His mother, Satou Touré, never really believed that he would, or wanted him to, become a footballer. But it was always something that Mané had wanted from a young age. In fact, he wanted it so badly that he would run the 2 miles to get to the training pitch, run a half dozen laps before training began, do the entire session, then run all the way home. So I guess his stamina and overall pace and mobility have always been a strength of his. However, training on Wednesdays after school and Saturday mornings, as well as supplemented with a few kickabouts with his mates on the Bambali streets, didn't really quench his thirst for football. So he couldn't turn to his parents for support, as they wanted him to just continue being a devout Muslim, which he is. He's never tasted alcohol and doesn't smoke, get an education, and start his career. Speaking to Liverpool's website, Mané said, "They didn't have a specific job for me, but they thought playing football would be a waste of time, and they never thought I would be a professional footballer." So with his parents out of the question as far as supporting his footballing dreams, he turned to his uncle, who was actually happy to help. And at the age of 16, he drove him the 7 hours to Dakar for tryouts with Generation Foot. Started by former Ghanaian striker Madi Touré and Senegalese singer Youssou N'Dour, Generation Foot is a football academy based in Dakar, which has seen the likes of Papi Cissé and Diafra Sakho pass through its ranks. Despite taking a light roasting from one of the coaches of Generation Foot due to his shabby boots, Sadio was signed to the academy within 15 minutes of his tryout. Now, Generation Foot has an association with French club Metz, in which every year the most promising 18-year-old within the academy gets sent to France. Cissé and Sakho had achieved this before him, with Cissé representing the club from 2005 to 2009 and Sakho from 2009 to 14, playing alongside Mané for 1 season. Mané claims that he didn't even tell his parents when he left for France. When he finally bought some credits to phone home and tell his mother he was in France, she replied, "Which France? What do you mean, Europe? You live in Senegal." Mané claims that she couldn't believe that he was in France for football, and called every day after to ask if it was true, as she thought he was still at Generation Foot. However, his adjustment to France didn't come easily thanks to a pelvic injury that would see him sidelined for 6 months. I mean, he was already dealing with a bout of homesickness, which is understandable given the adjustment to the new culture, food, and weather in France. He was certainly far from the dusty streets of Banbali. But once he got back to football, he felt much better, and he inevitably broke through to the Metz senior squad. He made his professional debut for Metz while they were still in the Ligue 2 on January 14th, 2012, coming on as a substitute against Bastia. He made 19 appearances total, 12 as a starter, scoring just 1 goal against Guingamp on May 4th, 2012. Metz were relegated to the Championnat National, or the 3rd division, that season. But Mané did enough to make the Senegal team that was headed to the 2012 Olympic Games in London. Sadio started every single match for Senegal at the Olympics, and they made it out of Group A just behind Great Britain. However, against Mexico in the quarterfinals, despite turning around a 2-0 deficit in regulation time, they ultimately fell 4-2 in extra time. His performances didn't go unnoticed at the Olympics, however, as Red Bull Salzburg came calling for his services later in that same summer. Though he still made 3 appearances for Metz in that season and scored 1 goal in the process, by the time transfer deadline day had come and gone, Salzburg had sealed Sadio's signature, say that 10 times fast, for €4 million. He adjusted quickly to life in Austria as he scored his first hat-trick for the club in the Austrian Cup on October 31st, 2012 against Karlsdorf. In total, in his first season, he scored 19 goals in 29 appearances across all competitions. In the 2013-14 season with Salzburg playing in the Europa League, Mané had one of his best seasons yet. He managed to score 13 goals from 33 Austrian Bundesliga appearances, including his first league hat-trick on October 27, 2013 against Grodig. He scored another hat-trick in the Austrian Cup semi-finals, as Salzburg went on to win the domestic double. Mané also impressed in Europe, scoring 5 goals in the Europa League and becoming one of Jurgen Klopp's biggest summer transfer targets while he was at Dortmund in the summer of 2014. Ultimately, the deal to take Mané from Salzburg to Dortmund would fall through, and his eventual transfer deadline day deal that would take him to Southampton, well, it wasn't exactly a cakewalk. His agent, Bjorn Bezemer, says, quote, Sadio had offers from places like Russia and China, but also bigger clubs in Europe. We said, no, now is not the time to just make big money or sitting on the bench in a top club. We want to take a career step, so he accepted the offer for less money from Southampton. Admirable, though it must be noted that Mané also forced Salzburg's hand in the move, as he didn't show up to training right before their pivotal Champions League qualifying match. All said though, the deal was eventually signed for £11.8 million, and on September 23, 2014, Mané made his club debut in a 2-1 League Cup victory over Arsenal. And he scored his first goal for the club against Stoke on October 25th, 2014. That same winter, Mané hit a purple patch for Southampton, scoring a goal in 3 consecutive matches against Chelsea, Arsenal, and Manchester United. Later in the season, on May 16, 2015, he scored a hat-trick against Aston Villa in 2 minutes and 56 seconds, which broke the Premier League record for the fastest hat-trick, previously held by Robbie Fowler. In his first Premier League season with the Saints, he scored 10 goals from 30 appearances, and his second would see him score 15 from 43 appearances across all competitions. In that final season with Southampton, after going 4 months without a goal, Mané scored a brace in a 3-2 victory over Liverpool on March 20th, 2016. Then scored a further 5 goals in 5 matches, including a hat-trick against Manchester City in a 4-2 victory on May 1st, 2016. That late flurry of goals made him Southampton's top scorer on the season with 15 goals and Liverpool's top summer target for the summer of 2016. So later that summer, on June 28, 2016, Sadio Mané put pen to paper on a contract with Liverpool, who had to pay £34 million for his services, and made him the most expensive African player of all time. Well, at that time, as Liverpool would go on to later break that record with their signing of Mohamed Salah. Mané made an immediate impact with the Reds, as he would score the 4th goal in what would be a 4-3 win over Arsenal in the first match of the season. On December 19th, 2016, Mané scored what would be the game-winning goal in the 90th minute in his first ever Merseyside derby, and later in the year, on February 11th, 2017, after a long absence away at the African Cup of Nations in which Liverpool really missed him, Mané scored 2 goals in 2 minutes against Tottenham. Performances such as these earned him a place in the PFA Team of the Season, scoring 13 league goals despite missing almost all of January and the end of the season due to an injury. But even with those absences, his performances were enough to win the Liverpool Player of the Season award as well. Despite some injuries disrupting his groove, Mané has continued to excel in the 2017-18 season with Liverpool, having scored 3 goals in 4 league appearances as of October 2017. And he continues to keep the Anfield crowd on the edge of their seats alongside his dynamic teammates of Phil Coutinho, Mo Salah, and Roberto Firmino. I thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this player bio, then maybe do us a solid and hit that subscribe button. But other than that, my name is Adrian from Rabona TV, and I will hopefully see you soon. Peace.